Hello, everyone, and welcome to Top of Mind. I'm Mary Mesaglio, and I'm in the Gartner offices at Gartner headquarters here in Stamford, Connecticut today. I come here about once a year, and it's kind of ironic that I'm here because we're going to talk about the fact that when you mandate a return to office, which Gartner doesn't do, it carries a steep cost. 74% of HR leaders cite these mandates as a source of conflict for employees and management, which isn't great because it turns out the benefits of return to office prove to be modest at best. They're high risk. When we asked employees why they quit, they cited lack of work-life balance as among the top 5 reasons. The group most affected are high performers, women, and millennials. These 3 groups really prize flexibility. These are your biggest flight risks. High performers seem to feel especially resentful about mandates. We found they have a 16% lower intent to stay when they're required to do on-site work. And I think that's because the mandates can feel arbitrary and can be interpreted as mistrust from management. Remember that lots of enterprises experienced productivity increases during the pandemic. So employees, especially high performers, aren't feeling like they were dragging it just because they weren't in the office. They know they were productive while working outside the office. And they resent the decision to come back just because. If you're an executive watching this, beware the words, "I just think," like, "Why are we returning to the office?" Well, I just think that people do better work when they're together. Or, I just think it's important for innovation and collaboration for everyone to be in an office. I just think isn't real data. And it doesn't win against the legitimate work-life balance sacrifices that employees have to make when they return to the office. Maybe they're used to having lunch with their spouse. Maybe they drive their kids to school every day and that's their special time. Maybe they just feel more productive when they're working from home. And here's the thing, performance and inclusion don't improve when everyone's in office, especially among women and millennials. In fact, it can actually have a negative impact on performance and inclusion compared to those at organizations that didn't implement mandates. Here's some more data from our survey. Nearly 2/3 of employees report they work best in a remote environment. And this one surprised me, they report even higher feelings of inclusion in a remote environment versus on-site. That's not to say there are no benefits to mandated return to office. There are some. Employees may put in more effort in the office because they might feel closely monitored. People might be more inclined to help their colleagues with their workload since the struggles are more visible, or just because being in the same place makes it easier to ask for support. What we found is that return to office benefited mostly managers who have arguably experienced the most significant change in their day-to-day work with the shift to hybrid and remote work, and likely the most anxiety. They're the ones who saw the greatest benefits from return to office mandates. More time in the office likely provides managers with a sense of familiarity with their employees, and they can literally see if their employees are working hard, at least if they're co-located. But again, if management is the only one winning in this environment and employees feel it's born of a lack of trust, that's not great for dedication and performance. In the end, a flexible approach yields the best results. Gartner recommends HR leaders co-develop policies, not mandates. We recommend concentrating employees' on-site attendance around specific regular activities like brainstorming and off-site meetings or intensive creativity sessions. If you can, allow employees to influence the policy and provide a clear why beyond "we just think." Here's 3 takeaways for you and your peers. Number 1, the benefits of in-office work aren't worth the risks of a rigid mandate. With minimal data to support the merit of strict return-to-office requirements, the steep negative impacts outweigh the potential gains. Number 2, give employees an opportunity to shape and personalize the policies, and you'll likely see improved employee engagement and effort. And number 3, don't derail your long-term talent strategy with the wrong return-to-office approach. Show that you're being intentional and transparent and empathetic, which means you should avoid a one-size-fits-all implementation. To hear more, you can register to attend Reimagine HR, which takes place this fall in London, Orlando, and Sydney. Click on the links below to learn more about this topic. Thanks, and see you next time.